All right, guys, so as you can see, we're on the road today, and I think we've got quite an adventure ahead of us. So I was looking at social media last night, and I saw that my absolute favorite heritage unit, the Central of Georgia, is headed my way, and I think it's paired up with the Savannah and Atlanta. We're going to see if we can track them down.
I ended up in Powder Springs, Georgia, just north of Norfolk Southern's Whitaker Yard. Two dirty ST-60Es were switching intermodal cars here. I've always found these units to be a little bit unusual. They were rebuilt by Norfolk Southern, and the cabs are totally custom. I will say the attention to detail on these is impressive. If you look really closely, you can see horse heads on the side handrails. But I wasn't here for these. I wanted to see two other custom NS locomotives. And today, they were somewhere out there leading NS train number 26Q. I was quickly discovering that this was going to be less of an adventure and more of a test of my patience. The first train I caught was headed north. The recently rebuilt NS 4363 was in the lead. This is the cleanest freight locomotive I've ever seen. I highly doubt it'll be like that for long. It's always interesting what you'll see if you wait in one location for a long time. How about this turkey in the middle of August? Anyway, back to the trains. This was my next catch, an intermodal working his way out of the yard. He still had a little more switching to do before he took off. In the meantime, two southbounds were headed my way, and neither of them had the heritage units up front. This is supposed to be a quiet zone, meaning trains don't sound the horn, but I guess this guy really wanted to get my attention. I'm not complaining.
So after waiting a few hours and watching several trains pass me by, I finally heard over the radio that 26Q has one train ahead of it, so I guess I'll wait it out.
And here's the first southbound the dispatcher was talking about. The anticipation is really building now.
Unless I'm mistaken, this heritage unit should be right behind that guy, so I guess here we go.
Finally, I could see number 8101 on the horizon. The Central of Georgia Heritage Unit was back in its home state. This unit, along with Savannah and Atlanta number 1065, are unique. They were part of Norfolk Southern's 30th anniversary celebration. In 2012, the company painted 20 new locomotives in the schemes of its predecessor railroads. And honestly, they still look great 8 years later. I got pretty lucky getting these when I did. An intermodal train was coming up right behind me. Now, I would have been totally satisfied with what I just got, but I wanted to try to get number 8101 one more time. So I set up on this bridge on the outskirts of Atlanta's Inman Yard, 26Q's final destination. When I got there, a familiar sight, those auto racks from the train that was ahead of the two heritage units. After those passed, of course, more waiting and more trains. First, a local that was probably going to the yard where I just was. Next, an empty coal train from Georgia Power's massive plant shearer, headed back to the Powder River Basin in Wyoming. As it turns out, that train would be stopping for a crew change. This made my final shot of number 8101 a little more challenging to get. Oh well, it's better than nothing. And it was certainly better than getting caught in the rain. Those storm clouds were moving in, so with 26Q at its final destination, it was time for me to call it a day. And what a day it was.